Change is the key to achieving whatever your vision of success is. If you want to get from where you are now to where you want to be, you need to make a change. Whether it's a physical change, losing weight, eating better, a mental change, maybe you want to be reading more, or especially a change in your business or organization. Today we're going to talk about the change formula. This formula breaks down the components required to successfully facilitate change in any situation. And I'm not just talking about you personally. You can use this formula to lead other people to change. If you have employees or volunteers in an organization, if you need to lead an organization from one point to another. After all, that's really what leadership is. It's influencing people to change. And being able to lead yourself means having the self-discipline to make positive changes in your own life. So the change formula, here it is. C equals D times V times Fs is greater than R. Or in other words, change happens when dissatisfaction times vision times first steps overcomes resistance. Let me say that again. Change happens when dissatisfaction times vision times first steps overcomes resistance. Now let's talk about each of these components, starting with dissatisfaction. To inspire change in yourself and others requires you to first be dissatisfied with your current reality, with your current situation. If you're completely satisfied with where you are right now, or if your team members are completely satisfied, then there's no inspiration to make a change. There's no drive. Dissatisfaction is fuel to the flame here. The next component in the formula is vision. Once you become dissatisfied with your current situation, you need to develop the vision of where you want to be instead. If you don't do this, depression will be the result. You'll be stuck at a standstill, completely dissatisfied with your reality. You have to have the vision of where you want to go. Now, this doesn't mean you have to see the entire path or understand every step to get there, and we'll get to that in a second. It simply means you have to have an idea of what your ideal reality is. You have to see the destination. The next component is first steps. So if you've successfully become dissatisfied with your current situation and you've developed a vivid and exciting vision for what you want your new reality to be, you will be fired up to take action and take the first step to start making a change. And the last part of the formula is resistance. Resistance is anything that could stop you from making this change. Procrastination, a negative attitude towards the new change, maybe from an employee. Doubt is a huge one. Who am I or who are we to reach for this kind of change? Fear is another big one. What if I screw up? What if I fail? These are all forms of resistance that will stop you from making the change you need to succeed. And that resistance will always have the potential to rear its ugly head. And that's why the formula is written in a very specific way. Because if you are absolutely dissatisfied with current reality and your vision for what reality could be is strong, and because of that you are compelled enough to take a first step, those three components, dissatisfaction, vision, and first steps, will overcome resistance. And now you've unlocked the power of change. You will start to experience change. If at any point you're having trouble being compelled by a future vision, it means you're not dissatisfied enough with your current reality. If at any point you're finding it hard to take the first or the next step, it means you aren't dissatisfied enough and your vision isn't strong enough to push you. When you can get all three of these components right, you have a system for change that will overcome all resistance. Let's do a quick example of what this would look like in an organization with employees or volunteers. I mean, it's one thing to facilitate change for yourself, but leading other people to positive change is definitely the next level. And you have to be able to do this because if your organization is standing still in a world that's always moving, you'll die. So your first step as a leader is to show your team the reality of the situation. Convince them as to why they should be dissatisfied. Here's why current reality is not good. And then you need to cast the vision of how things could be. If the vision is inspiring enough, you can lead your team to take the first step and overcome resistance. Let me say it again. That dissatisfaction and that vision needs to be strong enough just to take the first step, to overcome resistance. That's all. After that first step is taken, you're on the path to positive change. Now you just need to keep applying the formula and taking steps forward until you've reached your vision. And now you know another system for success.